Kevin, how are you?
Alan, great to see you again. How
Good
you
to
been?
see you. Excellent. So we're here at IEEE. We're in your booth. You got a pretty magnificent booth, by the way.
Thank you.
So I want you to show it all to me, all right?
Sounds good.
Start right here. You got shortest lead times in the industry.
Yeah, one of the things that our company is known for
Right.
is for a very, very, very long time, we have the shortest lead times in the industry. There's a lot of different factors that go into that make that be the case. But I think, as you know, a lot of people say they've got the shortest lead times.
They mean by 4 years as opposed to 5? Is that what you mean?
Or they say they have the
Yeah,
shortest lead
right.
times. And, we're the leaders, so that's why we have no problem publishing them, putting them up there pretty darn big,
Yeah.
and letting every competitor come and take photos of them. I will tell you, in our booth here, there's a lot of things to take photos of. This is probably one of the most photographed things, because
Yeah.
this is one of the biggest issues in the entire industry. How quickly can I get my transformer?
Yeah.
And so, obviously we can do it faster than anybody. So.
Today, we've been doing interviews here. The number one thing when we ask utility people or industrial people or data centers, hey, what's the number one thing you're dealing with? You know what it is? Lead times.
Lead times.
Yeah, and people, because I'm looking at the others, and you got less than a year, and you got, is that 5? No, 2 years, and wait a minute, 40 to 50 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And these 120, I think it's worse than that, isn't it?
I think it is worse than
Yeah, it's
that.
a
But
lot
we
worse.
try to be conservative.
Okay. Well, that's pretty outstanding. Okay, now why does that matter?
Well, as you know, people on the customer side, they want their transformer and they want it now. So it has gotten to such a situation where we have, in addition to saying, hey, we'll build your transformer for you in X number of weeks, we also now have begun selling slots in our production schedules.
Ooh, excellent.
And it gives us the opportunity to sit with a customer. Hey, I can lay out my entire 5-year plan, and we'll slot them in and take care of them.
Firm commitments from them let you give firm commitments to your suppliers, which is part of the only way this is going to work, right? Collaboration. That's excellent.
Good things happen when people talk.
Okay, that's excellent. That's a great line. I like that, Kevin. We're going to use that somewhere in this. We're going to use it right here, but we're going to use it somewhere at APC Media. Okay, one of the reasons you can do this is you have a lot of different locations. I know you have, this is Virginia transformer, Georgia transformer. I just
Correct.
saw that on the sign. And sometimes it goes by Virginia transformer, sometimes you do both of them. But you have more than just Virginia and Georgia, correct?
We have 6 manufacturing facilities.
Really?
Our headquarters and our first plant is in Roanoke, Virginia. We have a sister plant in Troutville, which is just outside
You know what?
You want to do that next?
Actually, you show
That's
me.
fine.
So you were just talking about Roanoke, Troutville, Rincon, Chihuahua. Oh, wow. So what kind obviously you're not making every class of transformer in every plant. Talk a little bit about what specialties you got there.
So, yeah, if you look at in Roanoke, we'll start there. That's where we're based.
Right.
That's where our first plant is. Troutville is a sister plant that does a number of different things, but it's a sister plant for the Roanoke facility. That plant is pretty flexible. It can go from small to medium power transformers. Similar to Pocatello. Pocatello can do medium to somewhat larger transformers, but not nearly as big as you would see the transformers coming out of our Rincon facility outside Savannah. That's where we make our biggest ones. Then if you go to Chihuahua, does, I would say they do the first plant in Chihuahua does a wide range of transformers. P2 is our newest. They do a range they do our pad mounts, they do medium power, and they also do what we call IPMs, integrated power modules there. So
that's an excellent map of being able to service the entire country, transportation-wise, right?
correct. And if you look at the whole mix of it,
Yeah.
that gives us, we have the largest capacity of anybody in North America when it comes to being able to produce. And that's one of the many elements that gives us the leadership position in shortest lead times. While we just recently added a new facility in Chihuahua, we also are expanding and increasing the ability to produce more transformers in all of our facilities. So we're constantly investing. We invest only because it makes sense for the customers for us to invest.
So that's the plant layout. Obviously, the two main, I mentioned the issues, people saying lead times. Two of the issues that lead to long lead times are labor and materials.
Correct.
So having a pretty strong North American footprint, that's pretty cool to have that around there. How are you handling those issues, the labor and the supply chain?
Getting talented people is always a challenge, no matter what industry you're in, whether you're making transfer. We get them, and our goal is to get them, train them, and train them like nobody else trains them. And that's before anybody goes out on the floor. They are trained, and they probably are doing 6 to 8 weeks of training before they actually ever put hands onto making a real transformer. So the training piece of it is pretty big for us, and that cuts across whether somebody is a winder, whether somebody's doing moving materials throughout the plant. There's just a lot of different specialized training for each person. Part of that training also includes what's quality and what's not. If you don't have the quality, it means you're going to have to redo it.
Right.
Let's get it right the first time. So that's what we want to do. We want to show people, let's do it right the first time. The question about labor, we solve it by training people and having them feel good about what they're doing, right? Our message to the employees is that we enable the U.S. to have a reliable electric grid.
Yeah.
If you didn't have us, you wouldn't have a reliable electric grid. So you can feel good about, when you flip the light at home, you're making that happen.
So when a guy goes home and his son says, "Dad, what do you do?" He says, "I can keep the lights on."
That's right.
Excellent.
That's right.
All right.
Right. So that's the training piece.
So you're constantly bringing people in, training them up. You're building your own workforce rather than trying to hire it from other people.
We don't do that at all.
Excellent. Okay. Materials. Supply chain.
Well, we have a huge supply chain organization, and we have two benefits. One is every person in our supply chain organization is connected to these plants. Okay. So when we get an order in, that's when we're beginning to make sure in 30 weeks, we better make sure that those materials are at that plant.
Right.
Then we have somebody at the plant saying, "Hey, we're going to start work on this transformer in a week. We better make sure we have this stuff," and they do. So there's constant double checking between supply chain and the plant itself. But then, one of the other benefits for us, we're a privately held company.
Yeah.
If we need to go source a strategic material and warehouse it, we do it.
Right. I bet you the firm, what we're talking about, firm commitments from, buying slots allows you to plan. Because if somebody says, "I'm going to buy this slot, here's the transformer I want," you know exactly what you're going to need a long way out. You go to your suppliers and say, "I'm going to buy this. I'm not asking you for a quote. I'm giving you a PO," which lets them, and then they've got to go to their suppliers.
It's a good virtuous circle. You're right.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's excellent.
And we look at ourselves as the commitment company. When we say we're going to build this on X date and it's going to get delivered on the next date, every employee in the company knows we need to hit that date.
I was about to say, you should put that on here, but one source, one commitment.
What an idea.
Yeah, well done. Well done. All right, let's move on. Show me the next stop. So, Kevin, when we were over there, you talked about all the different plants, and then we talked about, and you had different sizes. Mm-hmm. And I know that you have this spinning thing where you have a breakout.
Our hologram, yes.
Your hologram. I love that with all of the different transformers. But the widest product range is also something unique because too many people specialize in one area.
Exactly.
Everybody that needs transformers needs a wide range of transformers. So if they have to go to multiple suppliers, then they're in that imbalance. you give them the opportunity as a one-stop shop. 1400 MVA to 500 kV class, that's a pretty big, wide range.
Exactly. And that's one of the benefits of having the manufacturing footprint that we have. The flexibility that we have in those plants to make different sizes, but then also the ability to make very large ones in Rincon to medium power elsewhere. It's it gives us a lot of opportunity. And again, it's the broadest range. And a lot of people only do, say, a really big one. And hey, if I need small, I got to go to somebody else. Fewer suppliers you have, the better.
No, that's exactly right. And the other thing, as I see up here, you look, I mean, data centers is one of the fastest growing segments in the United States. Ever since we said bring it all home, it's just booming. The need for transformers is huge. They're not huge transformers, but they need a lot of them. You got transmission up there, the transmission class power transformer.
Yep.
We got an aging grid. Everybody needs, every utility out there needs them. Wind, solar, a completely different class of transformer. I love the fact I'm an industrial guy. I love the fact that you've got industrial, because they're the left out guys. They need power transformers, they need pad mounts, and they're kind of left out.
And manufacturing's coming back to the U.S.
Absolutely. They're all booming, right? We have an organization that supports industrial safety and reliability, and everybody is pretty much sold out. They're running at 95% capacity, American industry right now.
It's great to hear, isn't it?
It is great to hear, and you're supplying all of them. No, that's brilliant. Widest product range, all of the different locations, and you got the best lead time. That's a hard thing to do as a company, by the way.
Yeah, and we're blessed that, hey, this is a show that is primarily for utilities.
Right.
But, we also have a big part of our business that supplies all this wide range of what we call commercial and industrial. And you're right, data centers are growing like leaps and bounds.
And if they can get slots, like you said over there, if they can buy it and say, hey, I'm going to give you this amount, you'll be sold out for a long time. Might make your lead time slip because you get sold out. All you got to do is buy another plant, build another plant.
Or figure out ways that we can expand where we are right now.
Yeah. No, that's
and there's efficiency opportunities to be able to produce more. And we know that.
Yeah. Because you know what they all take? They all take metal, they all take copper, they all take some different, gauges and everything else. So you can, again, go back to your suppliers and say, look, we can give you firm orders. No, that's excellent. That's a good leg up on the industry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're fortunate.
I knew you'd have another wall to show me. I knew it.
We have a lot of walls.
Okay. Technology leader. Obviously, technology is a huge part of what speed of manufacturing, quality of manufacturing. So technology leader leads to a lot of different things, okay? Talk to me about it. How did you get it? How do you maintain it?
Well, as you know, we've been in this business for more than 50 years, right? So we a couple of years ago, we celebrated our 50th anniversary. As a result of that, you get a lot of learning, right? We have a library of more than 20,000 designs.
Wow.
Actually, it's probably closer to 30,000 designs. And so a customer can come to us with a unique issue that they need solved, and we can use our technology and our, essentially our library of designs. And we might say, this is something that we did for somebody else 20 years ago. We could tweak it a little bit and make it work for you. And they'll say, okay, could you do this, that, and the other? It gets you into those discussions. People don't come to you when they have those major challenges unless you are a technology leader. One
of the funny things about this industry is we don't make them like we make 100 cars down the line.
No.
Almost every transformer, maybe not the pad mods, but almost every transformer is unique because it's got a unique, not just footprint, physical footprint, it's got a unique application.
Correct.
And that then creates the problem for the engineer, the specifiers that are saying, hey, this is what it's going to do, especially for utilities. This is what it's going to do. This is what I need. Industrial is even worse because they built these plants years ago. We don't have a lot of new plants.
Right.
They built them years ago and they had specific footprints and specific needs for the specified transformer. So having all that, I bet you should do a survey and match how many times you can match what they want within 90% before you do any tweaks.
I think
it's a lot.
it's pretty high.
Yeah,
It would be
that's
very
excellent.
high.
So one of the things about being a technology leader obviously has to be, you mentioned this at some point, and this is, I got to be careful because I don't want to put you in it. You build them so that they last 60 years.
Correct. When we design and then ultimately build the transformer, we do the testing to try to make sure it's going to last 60 years. You look at the average life of a transformer that's out on the grid today, it's
38 years.
yeah, it's pretty high, and they were not designed to last that long. So that's why we tell people, look, we use our technology leadership, we design the thing so that it will last well after you've retired and your replacement is retired.
Well, what you meant to say after you're gone.
Well, I don't want to say gone.
60 years is a long time. I don't want to be around that long. There's a part of that because one of the reasons transformers last 38 years now on the grid is because they've been overworked.
Right.
They're not using them according to the specification. They're running hot. They're doing
Right.
all that stuff. My assumption is in part of the design phase, you're looking at it saying, hey, you're putting this in Houston. I'm not talking about GSUs, but I'm talking about
Right.
mid-sized, distributor-sized transformers. They're kind of all being abused right now. So
Right.
you have to build that potential abuse into it.
Correct.
If they run it according to spec, it'll run 60 years is how you design it.
Correct.
That's excellent.
Correct. It's actually wonderful.
Okay. One of the things that impressed me the most about this booth when I walked up, was this thing behind me here.
Our water feature?
Our water feature. It is totally unique. We've had people talk about it. You see the waterfall?
Of all the different boards and panels that we have here, we summarize it all here in falling water. And you want to have a way to be able to tell people what booth you're at,
Reliable.
and be able to tell people what it is that we do for our customers.
Reliable customer commitments. Keep doing the brand over. 60-year life. You're right. You did put it in there. How did you somebody had to build this largest capacity?
We saw this at another industry trade show actually about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, someday I'm going to do this. And
Today is the day.
And today is the day.
Excellent. Kevin, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.